أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Um, Brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gave us this chance to meet and discuss the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is really a great things that people do, and if they are allowed during their day or during their life to go through ayat, as they will get rewards and they get wisdom from the discussion. So today we will discuss about the raising children. But I think today we may not be able to cover all the subject. Of course, the subject is huge, but let's take it maybe we need to break it down to a number of gathering or number of lectures. So we will start today with introductory, and maybe we will try to start talking about the raising children. It's just sort of an introductory to the subject. But the way how we're going to do it is we need to discuss why we need to discuss. We need to have it sort of an interactive session, because I'm sure among us who are, have experience dealing with raising children, so it has different perspective or different aspect in terms of raising. So definitely we will need input from everyone to this lecture, and I need to take this pledge for everyone here in the call, that you will do your best, to participate and put forward your input. So, can I take this pledge from you? Is it possible? It's not a pledge, but definitely we need to share knowledge. It's more sharing knowledge than one direction or one way lecture. So I just wanted to check with you. Would it be possible that you participate? Sister Sheikha, Mazen,
Yes, Sheikh.
Kulthum.
Assalamu
Yeah?
alaikum wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
Yes, inshallah we will participate. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, let's start with one ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah An-Nisa, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. If we go to the translation of the ayah, O mankind, fear your Lord, اتقوا الله, who created you from one soul and created from it its mate, and dispersed from both of them many men and women. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah telling us something that we may not know if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not tell us, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us from one soul. So that's mean there was one soul, and and then He created from this soul the rest of the humankind. It also puts some requirements or some conditions, or it puts a law or a way how we should treat ourselves. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu rabbakum. So we need to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or He asked us to fear Him, who created us from one soul, and from that soul He created the others, humankind. And then He said, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ الَّذِي تَسَاءَلُونَ بِهِ وَالْأَرْحَامِ. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, and fear Allah, through whom you ask one another and the wombs. So it set a standard. I mean, it's here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is setting a standard that there is a relation, and in this relation, that to show how we fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's reflected on our relation and how we deal with each other. So for example, how do I deal with my kids? I need to fear Allah because I will be asked from him, before him, that about how I dealt with my child. And then also I will be asked how did I do, or how I deal with my parents. And then all this relation, it looks like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us, if you want to be really conscious and fear of Allah, maintain a good relation among each other. There are responsibilities among, and there are rights for everyone, and there are responsibilities. So we need to make sure that we fulfill our responsibilities, and also we give people our rights, or their rights, and they give us our rights. So it's and it's a reflection of saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. So everyone is responsible, and according to this responsibility, they are given authorities, and these authorities, they need to make sure that they use it for to fulfill their responsibility in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked us. So if you see the woman or the spouses, how they deal to each other, family, brother to sister, sister to brother, son to father, father to son, and all this relation, which is very critical. So this is the standard. As soon as you are created in this life, there are responsibility on you, and we need to make sure that we fulfill each of this. Now, this time we're not going to talk. We're going to talk specifically about raising children with regards. Otherwise, this ayah, it gives quite wide wide standard or wide scope, let's say, in dealing with all other different people. Yeah. Anything before I move on? Anything to add?
Okay, Jazakallah.
Good. Okay, then let's move to the next point. How Islam looks at children, how he describes children's, or kids, or how it's described. Are they a problem? Are they gift? Are they what are they?
Amana.
Amana. Oh, yeah, that's a good word, as amana. Yeah, that's one of the good description really for gifts. Okay, is there any other things come to your mind? How do you look? Do we look to our kids? What are they? It's free talk. I mean, you don't have to answer according to Islamic. No, as normal life. For example, myself, I'll talk about myself. I look at my kids, as a zina, as something beautiful, in this life. So how is there any other description in your mind? Yeah.
It's a great gift from Allah.
It's a great gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said about this, it's hiba. Hiba. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give this gift, which is a great gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, then what we will do, let's discuss how Islam look at, Banin, الذرية, the kids or the children, how Islam is look at them, and then we get the way how Islam look at the from the Islamic perspective, and we will try to utilize this website to go through different ayat. So let's say, oh, anyone would like to read this ayah for us? Yeah, anyone help me on reading this ayah?
Wealth and children are adornment.
Yeah, even in Arabic, it's not a problem. I mean, the reason I asked for this, we want to create an interactive session, because definitely for sure, who is more experienced than I in raising children, for sure. Now I need to make sure all this knowledge and expertise and experience, it's need to be extracted, and then people can benefit from it. Because if I keep talking, I may not give you really much from my end, but at least I'm trying to manage the discussion. So
Okay,
anyone
أول
can, yeah.
Arabic. Recite in
Sorry,
Arabic. بسم
sorry.
الله الرحمن الرحيم. المال
Yeah.
والبنون زينة الحياة المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا. ما أقدر أشوف زينة، هو زينة الحياة. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا.
MashaAllah. Jazakillah khairan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Al-malu wal-banuna zinatul hayatid dunya. So what does this mean? Wealth and children are adornment of the world life. So they are zina, adornment. So they are something to beautify our life here. That's the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He looks at the dunya, at the children in this dunya. In unfortunately in some culture, like for example, when they say al-mal, they say al-mal wasakh ad-dunya, which is the dirt of this life, al-mal. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying al-mal wal-banun zina. So it's not dirt. I don't know if you heard these words before. Yeah. So what does this mean? Al-mal wal-banuna zinatul hayatid dunya wal-baqiyatu salihat khayrun 'inda rabbik. Al-baqiyatu salihat, which is enduring good deeds, are better to your Lord for rewards and better for one's hope. وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. That's mean for hereafter. It say al-baqiyatu salihat, which is al-baqiyatu salihat are the good deeds. The good deeds. How do we understand this ayah? But I want to, because I had a discussion with a number of people, and the way how they understand it, and maybe please share with me if you think that you came across some people who has the similar understanding. I came through number of people that say al-mal wal-banun is only for this life, and there is no good deed for the hereafter will remain from al-mal wal-banun. So it's only you can deal with it, and that's the way how they understand that wealth and children are adornment for the worldly life. So this life, al-hayat ad-dunya, but the enduring good deeds are better to your Lord for the rewards and better. So they disconnected between al-mal wal-banun and al-baqiyat al-salihat. What do you think? What do you think? Is this understanding there?
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum. What I understand, even in the wealth and children, we can attain goodness if we deal with those blessings of Allah in the right way. So they can be blessing on this world and they can be blessings in the hereafter. So we cannot disconnect Mali wal Banuna. It's indeed it's zina, but if we use that zina in the right way, we treat our children better, we bring up well, they will be of our benefit even when we are in our grave. They can do dua for us, they can do sadaqah, and we can be with them in Jannah as well. And Mali as well, our wealth, if we use the wealth in attaining the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that mal can be zina fi dunya, and they can be of benefit in akhirah if we utilize the right way.
Inshallah, Ukhtina, you explain it. I cannot say more, honestly. Excellent, mashallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for what you put forward. No, that's absolutely right. We cannot, and maybe here I would remind ourselves about one hadith. إذا مات ابن آدم انقطع إلا من ثلاث. And if you see among these three, so if son of Adam die, he will be disconnected from this worldly life except from three. من علم ينتفع به, so knowledge that he put in this life and people benefited from it even after he passed away, or a son who raised in the righteous way that he's praying for him while he's in the grave, and sadaqah, and running charity in this life even after he's passed away or after his death. So exactly, so actually al-mal wal-banun, it is zinat al-hayat al-dunya, but also it can be al-baqiyat al-salihat, enduring good deeds. So see how Islam looks at the children first. I mean, if we think this way, it's like an incentive we think of when we are raising, our children. It really gives us power, and it gives us passion, and also be patient with raising the children. If we think these kids or those people or those children are investment for this life and hereafter. No, that's a great input. That's a great input, Sister Tina. Any other one wants to say anything about the way how people understand? Anything to add? Okay, excellent. No, that's a great great input. Okay, we move on to the next ayah. So in this case, shall we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for children or not? How we make a prayer, to be given children? Sister Sheikha, are we supposed to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for children?
Yes, of course. The way Sayyidina Zakaria did,
Yeah.
even by dua.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right. So please don't feel threatened that I need big names, but definitely, I'm sure you have a great knowledge, and definitely, the knowledge with you is like, people who are looking for gold, they have to dig, and they have to, to get the gold. So definitely, I need to do so. I need to dig for the knowledge among you. So please help me to find that gold. Don't hide it. Okay. Let's take some example of dua of prophets. And see, I don't really, I'm not a very good memorizing Quran. I'm trying my best, but I utilize the. So you mentioned, sister, about Zakaria alayhi salam. Zakaria alayhi salam. I think he mentioned something with طيبة. طيبة. Oh, excellent. So this is the ayah in Surah Ali Imran. هنالك دعا زكريا ربه قال رب هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء. So what is Zakaria say at that time? Zakaria called upon his Lord, saying, my Lord, grant me from yourself a good offspring. Indeed, you are the hearer of supplications or supplication. So Zakaria, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him a good or righteous dhurriya. And see here, it's dhurriya tayyibah. So we really, I mean, Prophet Zakaria and other prophets are example to us to follow. So they ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the dhurriya tayyibah. So if the dhurriya are looked at negative way in Islam, prophets will not ask for it. So prophets ask because that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this gift. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer his call. And what he said, فنادته الملائكة وهو قائم يصلي في المحراب إن الله يبشرك. See, there's a good news. يبشرك بيحيى. He comes not only just بذرية. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already gave him name before even he comes, before even he's created, بيحيى. And then he gave him the specification or the, of Yahya, the son, مصدقا بكلمته من الله وسيدا وحصورا ونبيا من الصالحين. What a great gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Zakaria. The angels called him while he was standing in prayer in the chamber. Indeed, Allah gives you good tidings of Yahya, of John, confirming a word of Allah, honorable, abstaining from women. I'm not sure the translation, maybe abstaining from bad things and profit from among the righteous. So he's the righteous son. Let's see another example of dua or supplication to Allah for dhurriya. Oh, it's here. It's a supplication made by Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ربي هب لي من الصالحين وقال إني ذاهب إلى ربي سيهدين ربي هب لي من الصالحين. So what he said, my Lord, grant me a child from among the righteous. And if you see in both cases, in both Zakaria and Ibrahim alayhi salam, they wanted children to support them in spreading the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's mean they ask dhurriya, for a good things, especially good things for dunya and hereafter. So that's very important. Rabbi habli minas salihin. Some people they may say, for example, oh my God, grant me a child who can grow and be a physician or a PhD holder or an engineer, which is not something wrong. I mean, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is wrong, because also we need to be strong as a nation by people who are doing different things, manufacturer, engineers, and so on. But the main aim of having a children is to take the khilafah, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala word because we have to spread, and we will come to this. So dua, yes, we need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for righteous offspring, righteous dhurriya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we answer their call. فَبَشَّرْنَاهُ بِغُلَامٍ حَلِيمٍ فَبَشَّرْنَاهُ بِغُلَامٍ حَلِيمٍ. So we gave him a good tidings of forbearing boy. Okay, before we move to the next point, is there any other thing you want to add? Okay. Let's continue that. Why we need righteous people? Because we have the word of Allah. It has to sustain, and it will sustain through these generations. But these words need to be transferred to the next generation. So let's see, for example, a good example from the Quran. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَوَصَّى بِهَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ بَنِيهِ وَيَعْقُوبُ يَا بَنِيَّ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَى لَكُمُ الدِّينَ فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. So, and Abraham instructed his son to do the same. So it's a continuation of a program, or a continuation of the word, or a good deed. And so did Jacob, Yaqub, saying, "O my sons, indeed Allah has chosen for you this religion, so do not die except while you are Muslim." So you need to stay on the word of Islam, so then you can take it from generation to generation. So this is the main reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes to us a dhurriya, offspring, child or children, because the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala need to move throughout the coming generation. And there is another, I think in this. Sure. Yeah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Yaqub is the father of son of Israel, his sons, because the other name is Israel, Yaqub. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت. So Yaqub alayhi salam, peace be upon him, now he's witnessing the death. So he's يحتضر in Arabic, we say. And what was the top priority for him at his time? It's not the company that he is inheriting for his child. So his son or child need to continue the trading, or despite could be they have, because Musa alayhi salam, the son of Yaqub, he was the owner, the Aziz, the most authority. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, أَمْ كُنْتُمْ شُهَدَاءَ إِذْ حَضَرَ يَعْقُوبَ الْمَوْتِ إِذْ قَالَ لِبَنِيهِ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِنْ بَعْدِي قَالُوا نَعْبُدُ إِلَهَكَ وَإِلَهَ آبَائِكَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ وَإِسْحَاقَ إلها واحدا ونحن إلها واحدا ونحن له مسلمون. Or were you witnesses when death approached Yaqub, when he said to his son, "What will you worship after me?" They said, "We will worship your God and the God of your fathers, Abraham and Ismail and Ishaq, one God, and we are Muslim to him." So they are submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you see, Abraham is the grandfather of Yaqub. Okay, Yaqub is the son of Isaac. So all this lineage or the generation, they are committed to the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what does this tell us? That we need to maintain preaching the right words to, or the right attitude to our children. Now we will come later to discuss, okay, someone may say, I always instruct them, I always telling them, but unfortunately they are not responding to me and so on. We will come to this. But now we need to understand how Islam looks at the generation to child and so on. So that's what we are trying to start with. Yeah. Okay, is this ayat is clear on what on the message that we need to deliver through? Are they clear? Anything to add from your end?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Kawthar, can you help us just repeat what you got from this ayat? Anyone would like to participate?
Sheikh, this one, it shows that Nabi Yaqub was concerned at the time of death to make sure that the message of Islam is understood by his kids, and that will give him a peace of mind before he depart this world, because this is a legacy we leave behind. So we have to make sure that our children continue to sustain the legacy and pass it over to the next generation. It's like a business person. When they leave their business, when they are getting older, they start teaching their children how to run the business, because that's the legacy they are leaving behind, and they want to make sure that the offspring will protect all what he has worked hard to build and sustain. So for us, our legacy as Muslim is the legacy of religion, and it's the legacy that we've inherited from our prophets. And we have to make sure that we pass over to our next generation, and the generation passed over to the next generation till the end of time.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Sister Tina. I should then ask every time I go through ayat, so then we can we refresh our mind on what we said. Thank you very much. Jazakallahu khairan. Okay, then we move to the next point. Okay, there is one goal which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set for us. We need to be conscious of, we need to be clear and careful when we are raising our kids. There is one important goal for raising the kids. For example, I'll give an example. So someone say, what is the main aim for you? So for example, if two parents they talk, what is the main aim for raising our kids? Someone say, I want him to join university so and so, or he get a scholarship, or he studied This discussion could happen between parents, you know, for their kids. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I mean that this is good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set a goal for us, you know, towards our kids, to work. I mean, to work toward it, toward this goal. So we do our best. If it's achieved, that's good. If it's not, then, you know, we do our responsibility in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any idea what could be this goal? What is the goal that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is setting for us? Any idea? Just brainstorming, it's fine. I mean, you can throw anything from your side. What could be the goal?
Sheikh, for me, I think the ultimate goal is to raise the kids that they will grow up to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be the righteous kids, because then that's the only way that those kids will benefit me from this world, and I will be getting their benefit in the next life. At the end of the day, also we have responsibility to from Allah, so we have to do our responsibility. But we have to remember that the outcome of anything we do is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah wants to see us, what is our goal and what is our effort we are doing, and then He's not going to punish us from the outcome, because the outcome is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly. No, that's a very great input. Any other input from other people here? So yes, you mentioned something very critical. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you on your effort, not on the result. Because in this life, we don't own the result, but we own the effort. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. So the people who put you know, effort, strive to achieve, they will get the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll give an example. Nuh alayhi salam. So Nuh alayhi salam, he preached the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 1,000 years, except 50, so 950 years. Despite all this effort, with different way how he approached his people in different way, different method, but unfortunately his wife and his kids and his child or his son were not among those righteous who was saved on the ship. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take Noah on the result, he would lose, because, you know, his son was not you know, guided. His wife was not you know, did not follow him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us on our effort. So we need to put effort forward. And this is a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's mercy from Allah. Why? Because, you know, definitely we cannot guide people to we cannot make people righteous, but we can guide them. We can give them the information, we can advise them, we can give them consultation, and then you get the reward, which is a great thing. Otherwise, it will be really difficult that you will be rewarded if people really follow you. Then Prophet Muhammad, many people did not follow him, even from close family. One of his family member is in the hellfire, you know, Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. So yeah, no, that's absolutely right. Goal of parents shows them love, warmth, kindness, and obedience. Great input, my friend. How can I put like on this? Well, yeah, if I can put like, I would put like, but I don't know how to put it. But yeah, I think ila Is that the right way how I pronounce? Yeah. Excellent. Good. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. No, that's absolutely right. Okay, let's see. So what is, we asked, what is the our ultimate goal? Let's see it from Quran. What is the ultimate goal? Okay, in Surah At-Tahrim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. How to make this? Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. So he's calling the believers. So he's calling us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. قُوا أنفسكم. So protect yourself. وأهليكم, and your family. نارا, the hellfire. وقودها الناس. So which is the fuel are from among people. So in English, how this would be translated? All you who have believed, protect yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is people and stones. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us, what is the specification, or how this fire is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, telling us that, remember, this fire is this fire is very tough fire, where the people will be the fuel, stones. Okay, and there are angels are harsh in serve, عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد. So this is sort of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is cautioning us that we need to protect ourselves first and our families. So it's very important. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already set a goal for us towards ourselves and towards our families, or قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. Yeah. Okay. قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. So this is our goal. And then, so this is the main goal. It doesn't mean that we should not raise them to be good in their studying, or it just because that will not confront with the knowledge, with the learning. It's very important that they need to be sort of a strong members to the nation. And being a strong member, it's need that we learn and we be good in different part of the knowledge, engineering, medication, and all these things. Okay, but the main goal is يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم. So we need to protect ourselves and our families from the hellfire. So this is the main goal. Yeah, it should be really on our mind. Okay, before I move to the next point, is there anything to add here? Even by message, you can add. Okay. Right. So how we start, our raising. the first thing is dua. So we need to start with dua. We need to make sure that we don't stop from praying for our children. Any example? Anyone could give example of dua of one of Prophet, praying for his kids or dhurriyyah?
Yes, Sheikh, Rabbi jalni muqima salati wa min dhurriyyati rabbana taqabbal du'a.
MashaAllah. It's exactly. Do you know who
ربي
is the Prophet?
نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه واصلح لي في الذرية إني تبت إليك وهي من المسلمين.
MashaAllah. So that's the first thing we need to do. So the dua, when the dua starts, when we start dua, from which time? From what time? When they come or before they come?
I think before we get them.
Before, because Zakaria was praying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's putting supplication, or he submitted a request that I ask you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for righteous children. So yes, so even people who are not married, they ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the future that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with dhurriyyah salihah. Okay. So there are number of supplication, like the one you mentioned, ربنا وجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك. And then in Surah Al-Ahqaf, is it the one you just mentioned, Sister Kulthum? Or I'm not sure.
It's not in الأحقاف.
Surah Al-Ahqaf?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Surah No. So this one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وأصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين. So إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين. So did I have parents and second.
لأن هذا الدعاء نبي سليمان دعا فيه ونبي إبراهيم دعا فيه، بس
ما شاء
يختلف
الله.
لما بلغ 40 نبي إبراهيم دعا هذا الدعاء، وفي نفس الوقت نبي سليمان كذلك دعا، بس يختلف في نهاية الآية.
ما شاء الله. Okay. Yes, it's here. Me and upon my parents, and to work righteousness of which you will approve and make righteous for me, my offspring, Durriya, my child, my lineage after that. Okay. Now there is quite a lot of ayat mentioned about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned prophets making supplication to Allah that makes their kids righteous. Or I want to put a question here for discussion before we end, and then it's sort what was the aim of this for today lecture is to understand how Quran looks at the offspring or dhurriya or child. What is the aim? What is the goal? And how we deal with them. MashaAllah, I felt like you already ahead of me on understanding of this. So let's see how. Okay, this ayah, I want someone to help me understand this ayah. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ فِتْنَةٌ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ عِنْدَهُ أَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ. So we look at other ayat and we say they are a beauty of the life. Al-mal wal-banun, zina. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying it's fitna. So what it says, and know that your properties and your children are put at trial, and that Allah has with him a great reward. So how do you look at this ayah and the ayah of zina, al-mal wal-banun zina?
I think it's the way you use the mal in this dunya and the way you raise your children. You can raise your children as righteous children, and they are zina, and they will benefit you for dunya and akhirah. But if you raise your children away from Islam, then you have lost dunya and akhirah. And the mal, same thing. You can use your mal just to enjoy this dunya, and you can use your mal to build your akhirah. That's my understanding.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's fitna. But still, we did not answer how we look. The other ayah it says zina, and here it says fitna. Let's see what fitna means. Let's see this ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كل نفس ذائقة الموت ونبلوكم بالشر والخير فتنة وإلينا ترجعون. Every soul will taste death, and we test you with evil and with good as trial, and to us you will be returned. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is telling us this life, all the life, either it's with good things that we get, or with bad things that we get, or we had. All are fitna. Fitna is test. Now, child could be good, but also child could be bad. In both cases, fitna. This will help us how to deal with kids. So we have to, put effort, because they are tests. That's the first thing. The second thing is that sometime your child may force you to do something which is not good to achieve their goals. So, for example, they may, the child may want to study, and you don't have the money to fund his study. Okay, so he will force you to take loan from the unhalal or non-halal bank. If we know that they are fitna and we will be returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is a test, we need to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instruction, and make sure that everything in this life is fitna. The main goal that قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, first, protect yourself from the hellfire. Protect yourself and protect your children. So then in this case, I will advise him. I will first of all ensure that I will not go on the wrong side. The second thing, I will advise him. I will try to work with him not to go to the wrong side and to see alternative way. Because our goal is not raising him, but is to protect myself and to protect him. So I will be working towards this. I don't know if that's clear or. Excellent, mashallah.
Yes, it is clear, Sheikh.
Good. Excellent. Okay, any other thing? I would like to stop here. I don't know, do you like this way of how we manage the discussion? Or you think that you are threatened, you will be asked, asked to come forward? And because I felt that we really need to participate for a number of reasons. The first reason, I don't have really that knowledge to give, and definitely I need your input from your end. The second thing is to keep the lecture more interactive instead of boring one way or one direction, talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good way, Sheikh.
Okay. Okay. Anything before we close? Anything you want to add or? Okay, Jazakum Allah khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us for all good things and forgive us all for all our bad deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefit us from these lectures and make us, practicing it in the real life. Jazakum Allah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير شيخ، بارك الله فيكم وجميعا على الحضور. Thank you for attending this session. We are going to close it now. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.